public vote. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. 0 points.
Hello, Europe, Australia, and the rest of the world, and everyone else still trying to piece their sanity back together after what went down in Austria. Welcome to episode 12, the season finale of I'm Sorry, 0 Points, with me, Adrian.
And me, Seamus.
So we're coming to you following a breathless historic night at the Wiener Stadthalle in Vienna. The milestone 70th anniversary of the Eurovision Song Contest promised to be unforgettable. The pressure inside the arena was absolute, especially with the geopolitical tensions and a 5-country boycott looming heavy over the entire production. But when the music started, the grand final took a life of its own. It gave us everything: pristine vocal masterclasses, high-octane club bops, and an ideological chasm between the professional juries and the public televote. And out of the ashes of that voting chaos, history was written. The country walking away with the glass trophy didn't even compete in the contest for the last 3 years. I'm sure you all know by now at this stage that Bulgaria has won the Eurovision Song Contest 2026. Dara absolutely conquered Europe, pulling off an ultimate double crown by winning both the jury and the televote with Bangaranga. In this episode, we are doing a post-mortem on the madness. We'll also have a very special interview with a 3-time Eurovision winner. So stay tuned for a very special conversation that Seamus had last week. So grab your flags or something strong and let's break down the beautiful wreckage of the Vienna Grand Final. So Seamus, where will we start?
There's only one place really to start, I think.
That's correct. Let's go to the bar. Oh no, sorry, the winner. Yes, the winner, the dark horse, the ultimate dark horse.
Yeah, ultimate dark horse. Such a dark horse, no one even considered them winning.
Well, I think I did say it in our... perhaps Bulgaria, because I knew they did well in the semi-final, so it was important. I think I did mention them, but I never really thought they would win, if I'm being honest.
Because actually, in preparation for this episode, I went back to listen to our review of it from March, and wow, I was very scathing of it anyway.
Yes, you are.
But equally, you know, you weren't that positive about it either.
No.
Yeah, like nobody, not many people, I should say, saw this as a winner, as a contender, to be honest. So that's why it really was a surprise. And it was, I suppose, it was a bit like a fuego moment. Nobody saw this coming until the rehearsal started, and then something happened. And we did mention it then on our episode on the day of the final. And I remember talking about the reaction and Bulgaria getting one of the biggest reactions in the arena. So something happened. It was certainly like a fuego moment, I think. And that doesn't come around too often, those moments.
No, and it's completely undisputed. That's what I really love about this. It won both the votes, both jury and the public vote. I was surprised by basically the jury vote, them winning the jury vote.
Everyone was. Yeah, for sure.
And then the enormous public vote that they got. I mean, their overall vote was absolutely huge. So there was it's undisputed, which I think is a great thing in this case. And I'm going to be really honest with you, I think them winning was the best thing about the whole show, in my opinion. I didn't think there was much else to shout about, really, if I'm being honest. But we'll come to that later on, maybe. But, you know, I was looking back at one stage, Bulgaria were 33-1 to win right before, I think probably the midweek before the final. And they did start moving in once the semi-final, because, you know, it was recognized then, okay, this is good. But again, I don't think it was recognized as a winner at that stage even. So it was just like the ultimate long shot came out of nowhere and to win. What do you think was it about the song?
Well, I think it was the fact that she obviously took our advice and said that everything needed to change from when she won it back in February. To be honest, I still don't really know what it is that helped it win. I can't put my finger on it. But I think one thing is the fun factor, I think. The routine, the staging, the clothing, it was all kind of fun, lighthearted. There was a playfulness to it. And I think that probably came across.
Yeah, and I think
Mm,
Dara herself, came across really well. I think connected, even though
mm,
it was like the song is supposed to be chaotic. That's what Bangaranga is, and it can be anything you want it to be. And I just think that disheveled nature of the choreography and the masks, especially, I thought that really was like, oh, and the choreography was brilliant, and the staging I thought really, really, really elevated this. I just thought the visual package really kind of gave it that extra something, and it wasn't over the top either. It was
mm,
just really well done.
yeah.
Um, and it is a memorable song.
Yeah, I don't think it's probably going to go down as one of the all-time Eurovision winning classics, but it's a
No,
fun song, and I
it
think people can
is.
enjoy it.
And just special things about it was the really high score,
Mm,
516 points, the double crown, I guess
yeah.
is what it's called. First time since 2017 this has happened. And then just that staging, I think. And they are come back. They haven't competed for 3 years, and then suddenly they came out of nowhere back into the contest. And there you go. We're
Yeah.
heading to Sofia next year, or
Off to Sophia.
Bulgaria.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, it's
Bulgaria anyway.
more than
Yeah.
likely Sophia by the
Yeah.
looks of it, but yeah,
Yeah.
Bulgaria for the first time ever. And the biggest winning margin as well between
Okay.
Bulgaria and the song that came second.
Yes. Now we have something special, Seamus, and it is connected to Dara and Bangaranga.
Absolutely. We had to, of course, talk to someone involved in the team to see what it was
Mm-hmm.
like for Bulgaria and Dara to win. So, luckily enough, last week I had the opportunity to chat to three-time Eurovision winning artistic director and choreographer of Bangaranga, Fredrik Rydman, or Benke as he's known to his friends. Thank you very much for joining us on the podcast. Delighted to have you, and congratulations on winning Eurovision, I
Yeah,
guess.
I know. Yeah, it's
How does
crazy.
that feel?
Obviously, really good, of course. But first of all, it was a bit unexpected. No one really talked about us, Bulgaria, and the song and the show down there. But I'm also very happy because I've received so much positive feedback about the staging, and the choreography and the whole setup. So I really feel that I'm a part of the winning team, so to speak, if you know what I mean.
Mm. Yeah, absolutely. You definitely are a huge part of it. So yeah, so just in case our listeners don't know, you were the creative director and choreography for Dara's performance of Bangaranga at Eurovision.
Yeah, just gonna
And
add, I did the creative direction together with Keisha von Arnold.
if we can maybe go back a few months ago, and when Dara and her team kind of first approached you to be involved, what made you say yes?
I think the first thing was Dara. I mean, she as an artist, because I watched some clips of her dancing, and I really felt that I had a chance to work with, some really nice choreography with an artist that I can actually can dance. So that was my first thing, and I felt, I mean, listen to the song, I liked it, but it was a bit, it takes turns here and there, so it was a bit hard to follow. I mean, I always looked for some kind of storytelling or some kind of arc in the song, and I had a little bit of trouble finding that to begin with. So that was a challenge. But I say, yeah. But overall, I was intrigued by just doing something really, also to a clubby song. So that was exciting. Yeah.
Okay. And I did read somewhere that Dara had an idea herself of kind of what she wanted the song to look like and what she wanted to do on the stage. So when she kind of came and shared her kind of thoughts and ideas with you, did you then have to kind of go away? And what was the kind of creative process like?
When I have these kind of meetings with artists and manager, I'm always go like, no, don't tell me anything. Just wait. Let me listen to the song, and so I can find a picture, whatever it is, some kind of way into the song and what grabs me in the first, moment. And then I listened to all the ideas from the artist. I don't know how it was this time really. It felt like I got this idea from people, sitting down. There was something with chairs and this kind of ritualistic, if you say that in English, I don't know,
Yeah, yeah.
dancing, um, tribal in a way. And then at the same time, when I heard that she was talking about this figure in Bulgaria called kukri, which is, this kind of thing when you talk to your ancestors, you have a spiritual awakening and those kind of things. So it makes you feel more grounded, maybe, and protect yourself from basically from yeah, a little bit from mental unhealth and such stuff like that. And that, so there I felt we were, we were teaming up with Dara in those ideas.
Okay, so yeah, there was a connection of those ideas. Great. Tell me about Dara. What was she like to work with? And I think I saw she was in Stockholm this week, I think, and you got to meet up again, did you?
Yeah, yeah, that was so nice. She just flew back. Now she's back into writing again. So then we just teamed up because it's the dancers are all Swedish as well. Because what happens after you win Eurovision, you don't see the artist. It's like goodbye because it's like everybody just pulls her. So we didn't really meet each other after winning, just very briefly. So that was nice to get together. But she's really fun to work with, and she's like she knows what she wants, but still very open-minded, I would say. I'm really grateful actually that she was so open-minded to the language of dance that we presented to her, the whole setup, because it was really, really different. We were saying like, okay, we're not gonna do any fancy light cues, we're not gonna do any fancy camera shots or anything. We're just gonna let the dance be the effect, if you want to call it like that, and be the communication with people. And then she was all for it. And we started to move, and she had problems sometimes with the movements, like, oh, but she always kept on going and, and liking it. So I felt that she trusted us a lot in the process. But
Great.
also at some points, she was very clear on like when it comes to costumes, she was heavily involved, and I think she brought some really good ideas to the table that we just picked up on. So it felt like we were collaborating and, giving from different angles, I would
Mhm.
say.
Great. And actually, you touched on something there because I was in Vienna. I was in the arena
Yeah.
watching the performance, and I suppose I was one of those Eurovision fans who hadn't really thought Bulgaria would be a potential winner. However, I remember when I saw the performance in the arena for the first time, and I was like, wow, okay,
Mm.
what's going on here? And the reaction in the arena was huge.
Yeah, I know the
Probably
reaction was
the
amazing. I was like, whoa, what's happening? Are they?
Yeah, and I think that was the first time that I was like, okay, something's happening here.
Yeah.
Because the staging was really cool, but I think you kind of mentioned this. It wasn't your typical Eurovision staging in the sense that there was no dry ice, there was no wind machine, there was no flames, there was no pyrotechnics. It was very much the dance and that movable structure.
Yeah.
So that was a conscious decision, obviously, to not go with the typical pyrotechnics and flames and all that stuff.
Totally, because I mean it is about standing out. It's a massive competition, with a lot of things. So yeah, we really want to do something, boring, but still fashionable, if you know what I mean. So I think we tried to create the imagery of the whole thing was to create something that is, this is boring, but still has a fashion level to it. And also, of course, the dance. I mean, it would be not easy, but it would be the obvious way to go with Dara. I mean, she looks great. She's this incredible, woman, Beyonce superstar. We can do that kind of dance. Girls in heels. Yep, bam, 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 everything. But we wanted to go the different way because, it makes people lean forward a little bit, still energetic. And I think the my favorite part is when I got Dara to do this in the middle of the song, which is such a corny move. I mean, now if you listen to this, you don't know what it is, but when you have your fingers in front of your nose and just like putting your tongue out, making a fool out of yourself. Because I think that gave me the flavor that she's like, I can do whatever here, I am the Bangaranga. I have this soul or flavor or feeling. Still, she's this like super hot woman, but she's not taking herself too serious. And that was very intentional from my side to give her that flavor and to give her that playfulness. And I mean, something we worked on. You can ask Dara if you meet her again. I told her like 200,000 times, like, open your eyes. Because if you sing and you look good and all this, you don't communicate. I wanted her to like, you need to communicate. So I was on her, like, open your eyes.
Mhm.
And I think that's one key to what the performance gave. And I think that I have read comments and I heard, people, DM me and stuff like that, and pointing that out, that it was such a fresh take, even though it's not that super fresh. But you know what I mean? Like, so I think
Yeah.
I was really happy that people saw that,
Mm.
felt it. Yeah.
That's why it stood out. And yeah, playfulness is the word I was thinking as well as you were talking there. Yeah.
Yeah.
So this is huge for Bulgaria. Like, what a comeback. They haven't been in the contest since 2022, their
Yeah.
first victory for Bulgaria. But it was kind of a Swedish victory as well, because, you choreographed the routine alongside Kesha von Arnold, as you mentioned, who is kind of well known in Eurovision as well. She's been a dancer for several Eurovision acts, including Eleni Ferreira, I
Yeah.
believe, for Fuego. And then Dara's backing dancers were four Swedes. So it's
Yeah.
almost a Swedish win as well. But thankfully and selfishly, from an Irish perspective, it won't go down as a Swedish win. So we're
No.
still level on 7
Exactly.
Eurovision
Oh yeah,
wins.
that's the Ireland Sweden competition. Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's the one.
Exactly. But tell me a little bit about that and why so many Swedes involved, I guess, and how that came about.
First of all, I got the question. I brought Keisha on board because I was also doing UK and Switzerland this year, so I felt it was, it's a lot to handle. Um, but not only that, also for her skills, of course. And then it was more like, where are we gonna rehearse? We are two people in Sweden, and Dara is one person. And we have great dancers in Sweden that we know of. I mean, I don't doubt that there are great dancers in Bulgaria too, but I mean, for me, it was more like a personal thing. Like, if we can do it in Sweden, that would really help us, in terms of times and flying and doing stuff. So
The
I was
practicalities.
thankful for that, and we also, we know the people, so I think the casting, getting different people was also very important for us. Not having, representatives of different characters. Not that it shows that much, maybe, but it's just, it's also another flavor to think about. Yeah, and also now we built the prop actually in Austria. The idea was to actually build it in Sweden because I usually prefer that, because you know what it is, you can control it, you can rehearse with it. So when you come down there, because it's so stressful when you get down there, you have like 2 times a rehearsal, and it's only like half an hour each.
Mm.
A funny thing, a side note on that, is that we came down, we weren't really happy with the painting of the walls. So me and Keisha went down there in the arena one morning and just repainted the whole wall. But it was really good that we did it, because it just gave it another little flavor that we really wanted to have. So that's also a reason of, like, when you can build it, close to you, you know what it is.
Yeah,
So
you can
yeah,
have it near you, feel it,
yeah,
see it, and yeah, yeah.
exactly.
I love it. I love the little insights. You're doing everything: choreographing, creative director, and painter.
Yeah. No, but I think it's very much like that. I mean, honestly, I think it's I mean, for as an example, for Switzerland this year, we built a prop in Sweden. So I went there, I tried it, I tested. I mean, same thing there. I actually painted a little bit on that one too, but also all these ropes that we had in the structure. You just take it, you redo it. No, let's change this one for this one. Have a bit more of a bungee feeling in this one. It's all about, it's a craft as well. I mean, that's the way I usually work. I mean, right now I'm at the theater where I usually work, so it's a lot of that. Like, I really like to get down with my hands, because
Yeah.
it gives you something, it gives you feeling, and it gives you direction, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, and be hands-on. Yeah, yeah. And you mentioned there, obviously, you were involved in the UK performance and Switzerland as well. And I know Kesha, I think, was involved in the Cypriot entry and the Swedish entry as
Yeah.
well this
Yeah,
year.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And tell me, how do you manage those feelings actually? Because here you are, you've won Eurovision with being creative director with Bangaranga, and then equally you had Switzerland who didn't qualify, and the UK came last. How do you kind of manage those emotions?
Yeah, no, I think you just have to deal with it. I mean, when Veronica from Switzerland didn't make it to the final, we had a nice get together in the hotel. We had a little party. We sang all night. You just have to spend time with people. And I think you have to invest in people and the show, on a personal level, and I think everybody else understands that that night was for Switzerland. That was not a problem.
Mm.
But it's also like, I mean, the UK team is, I mean, they're the best team also. Having so much fun with them. One point, I sat over at their sofa in the green room, and they were like, "Yeah, we got 1 point. We're ahead of Sweden. We're ahead of Sweden," because they actually were that on one at a certain time. But then we saw what happened with Bulgaria, and they were like, "Benke, you got to go to Bulgaria. You better go there now. Don't think about us." So it's all very positive. But of course, it could be hard to balance. I just try to be very communicative with it, and say and organize rehearsal time so everybody can rehearse. in different. There's always this conference room at the hotel where you rehearse when you're not in the arena. So it's all about spreading. But I think for me, I think 3 is maybe tops what you could do. I think.
Yeah, yeah. And you actually answered my other next question. I was going to ask you, how do you decide where to sit in the green room?
It's a bit of like jumping around because it's also fun for me because I know the Norwegian creative director. So, it's a little mingle party for me. I go to Sweden, sit at their sofa for a little while because obviously I know all these people. And then with my teams that I'm there with. So I'm just saying that I'm floating around a bit. And then, yeah.
Yeah, it must be great to catch up with people that you obviously kind of meet year on year, I'd say.
Yeah.
And you've also been involved in Melodifestivalen several times. So I do need to ask you a little bit about Sweden this year at Eurovision. And it's so unusual to see Sweden finish 20th place in the final.
Oh, yeah.
Worst result since Anna Bergenthal failed to qualify in 2010. What went wrong, do you think, this year for Sweden?
No, I think it was just that we didn't get to know the artist. I don't think the song was that bad, nor the artist. It's just that, she has this mask. It's a thing in Sweden. It's a story in Sweden. I always said, like, lose the mask because people don't get to know you. Also, the show is very dark and moody. I think it's about that, you need to sort of communicate with the audience. You need to get to know the audience in these 3 minutes. You need to get a feeling. People got to sit in the sofa and say, like, yeah, I like that girl or that guy or whatever it is, and the song and everything. This. So I think that's maybe something to think about for another year.
Yeah, no, and I would totally agree. And actually, myself and my co-host Adrian both talked about that point. We felt like the mask was a distraction as a viewer, that we didn't really get to see her and who she is. And again, as a singer, you kind of want to see their mouth and their lips, and you want to see them sing. So yeah, we kind of talked about that on our podcast as well. But yeah, no doubt, Sweden will be back in the top 10 and 5 again in Eurovision, as you normally are.
Yeah, we have to beat Ireland, right?
No. And I suppose as a creative director who's involved in Eurovision, looking at the other kind of songs and productions this year, was there anyone that you kind of were really impressed by their staging or choreography, and that you went, I like that. I like what they're doing there. I would have liked to have been involved in that. Was there any others that you enjoyed?
Oh, I'm thinking now. Not really something that stood out that I was like, oh, this is because I like it when it's like taking a step to the side or into the future, something that I haven't seen. I kind of liked and did not like Italy. There was something cheesy with it, or like totally over cheesy with it. But it was also like meant to be that way. So I was also pulled in by it. You know what I mean? So there was something that made me look that way and be intrigued with it. So that it had a quality, if you know what I mean. It was a hysterical dance to that song. I might not, but that was also cool. You should do something that is not expected to the song. So maybe that's the one I remember from this year.
Yeah, it was interesting. I did wonder how that was going to be staged, and it was an interesting production of it. All right. I particularly liked when the bride's dress rips off to reveal the Italian flag.
Yeah, it's like so corny, but I kind of.
It's something like Drag Race. You'd expect on Drag Race, kind of.
Yeah, and I kind of like, oh, that's lame. I mean,
but
it would be.
It worked.
But it also like makes me smile in a way. But that's good. I mean, it gives you something. I mean, the worst thing is when you're like, oh yeah, I've seen stuff like that before. I mean, that's the worst,
Yeah,
So
the worst thing is to be forgettable. So.
Exactly. Yeah.
Great. This is your third Eurovision victory now, because you were involved with Mans Zelmerlow back in 2015. So Vienna is good to you, it seems.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
And then you were also part of Nemo's winning performance of The Code as well. So I guess you're best placed to answer what makes a Eurovision winning performance.
I mean, I think something that stands out, that is, a unique look. It's also about being very clear in the visuals. I think with Nemo and the platform, that was very like, it was like one object. They were only doing stuff on that. Also with this room this year, very clear visual identity. And of course, also with Mons, at that time, that was a bit of a new thing, like a new trick with this projection. And what I always tried to bring in whether it's shown or not, it's a storytelling. It needs a start, it needs a middle, and it needs an end. That's very important for me to have the arc, and I think that matters.
Yeah. And actually, that is something I've noticed when I kind of looked back at your various Eurovision performances that you've been involved in. There's definitely been like a prop or technology, there's been something, one kind of key
Yeah.
thing, which I've definitely noticed, all right, as I've looked through the acts you've been involved in. And actually, if I just might take you back in time to some of those, I'd love to mention a few of these that you've been involved with in Eurovision. And can you just give me your kind of first memory or thought or a feeling around each of these? If we go back to 2011, Eric Sade and Popular.
Oh, I was so into the dance. We were like dancing so much. It was just like dance, 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 and power. That was yeah, if I think about it now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. And then obviously Mans in 2015 with Heroes.
No, I was really happy with with the storytelling, because I think I could feel that we pulled out some emotions from people. I think that's what you need to do as well. You need to find the emotional part somewhere, and I think we did that with a small boy and Mons.
And this one I'm really interested to hear about because it's Ireland. Leslie Roy, Maps 2021.
Ooh, that's the one that I'm really excited about, because I was happy with that one. I mean, it didn't go that well, and when I look at it now, there are bits in it that is like, that could have been done better. But the whole perspective idea, there's some parts of it that I'm like, yeah, that's fucking good. So it was a shame it didn't do better, but I'm very happy with that, and I was really thrilled. I worked so hard with that. I mean, the people that just like managed all these but it's also that handmade thing,
Yeah.
that I really like. I mean, I did technical stuff with Mons with the production and everything, but handmade is like something I really like. Yeah.
Yeah. It was very different, very unique. I think it's one of those divided performances here in Ireland amongst us fans. But I actually really liked it because it was different and it was unique. But there was
it's a risk taking. I mean, you don't always succeed.
Yeah, totally. And then if you think about the Rasmus Jezebel 2022.
Oh, I don't know. I just had so much problem with the staging and the balloons. It was just like a mess, everything chaotic, and
well, that was the stage that didn't turn, the sun that didn't turn, wasn't it?
yeah. And also when we got there, we sent all these like lists and maps to show them where we wanted it, but nothing was in place, and so chaos is my memory from that one.
I think the fans felt the same. That definitely felt a bit chaotic, that Eurovision.
Yeah.
And then, of course, you were involved with Carria, Cha Cha Cha.
Yeah, that always puts a smile on my face. I mean, when I heard the song in the first creative process, I found this picture of it's a dog from behind, and I just found out by then that there's this little trend of people, painting their balls or making them like glittery. So this dog's ass with some glittery balls, and I just felt that picture. Okay, this is the show, and I showed the other team, and they were like, "Man, you're stupid. What is this?" But that was this whole DNA from that show, turning into the cha-cha-cha dancers being like dogs and the white teeth, which is like, it's like barking dogs, but at the same time, the style of, ballroom dancing. So all that crazy mixture and the fun we had with Carria coming up with the steps. Yeah, so a lot of fun doing that, actually. Yeah,
I would imagine so. I think, yeah, for sure, that's one of the performances when anyone watches back, it just does bring a smile to our face.
Yeah,
so good. And then we kind of mentioned Nemo and the Code. Your memories of that?
Also a very clear idea from the beginning, actually. I had this tip whipping board, what do you say? No, what is it called? In playgrounds where sit on one side and you whip it, because
a slide kind of, or
the whole thing was about balance, and the whole thing about being where to be in a binary world where it's either like 1 or 0 or this or that, boy or girl. So to make Nemo balance in that was very clear for me in the beginning, and I just felt like this is the one. And then I developed it to a spinning top, so just to make it a bit more. That had to do with the stage, actually, because the stage was across, I remember.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted to have something that stood out in the whole perspective. It was very square, the whole setup, I remember.
Yeah,
So I wanted
very
to have something
boxy.
round. And also the spinning feeling of his opera, I can't sing, but the opera part was also something I saw in front of me, like a spinning gyro or something.
Yeah, yeah, it was stunning again.
And it was great. I mean, there was working with Nemo was so much. It was just great, you know, bouncing back and forth ideas and such a performer. I remember Nemo singing like full out in basically every rehearsal. Even though we were in the workshop in outside of Stockholm, it was like they were like going full out all the time.
Yeah, impressive singer.
Yeah.
I actually they came to perform in Dublin there last year, and I went to see them, and yeah, great concert. What a voice. And the last one I'd love to hear your thoughts on is Luan, Maman for France.
Oh yeah, I really like the idea. That was a tricky one with all the it's cork, the sand thing. So hard to handle on stage, but in the end, it looked really good. It was hard for them to light to make it properly, so it was a struggle. But I'm happy where we ended up because I think it's beautiful for that song. Also, maybe everybody didn't understand the whole idea, but time is running out. Her loss of her mother, and she's having a daughter. This sort of circle of life idea made sense to me, so I was happy with it. It could have been more. It could have been made more impressive in terms of like more sand, maybe. But it's those regulations you have with, it's so narrow, in terms of changeover time needs to be 30 seconds and you have to get out of this and you can't do this and you can't do that. So maybe that's something. I never look back at things, but if I saw it now one time, it could have had a more explosive feeling in the end, maybe.
Yeah, I think it was stunning though, and yeah, I definitely got that time running out.
Yeah,
I definitely think that came across. I think it was beautiful, but yeah, I mean that's so true about the restrictions. It is, you're so confined, I guess, with what you can do. And I suppose thinking of that, is there one change that you would like to see with regards to Eurovision to help make performances more kind of creative or bigger or better?
Yeah, I actually gave an idea in the after party to one of the tech guys behind, because they have so much, we were laughing about that. It's like Eurovision prop contest, it's so much things that are going on stage. My suggestion is that you are allowed to, I mean, you have 6 performers, but you would be allowed to bring 2 or 3 stagehands that are rehearsed, not seen in picture, but can deal with the prop in the way it's supposed to be dealt with. Because people go there, you don't have these like shitty rehearsals when everybody's just like, there's like 20 people on stage and everybody's just like looking at the prop and what is this? How does it work? Because they don't have time, naturally. I mean, it's just a time factor. If you have time to rehearse with it, it will be all good. And they are fantastic in the end, but it's just like it's too little time. So that's something I could see really bring up the level of the creativity and the show.
Yeah, no, that's a good idea. Actually, good suggestion. Next year, we're going to Bulgaria. First time for them to host the contest.
Yeah.
Eurovision is kind of going through some turbulent years, I guess. What would you like to see with Eurovision in Bulgaria?
That's so hard to answer. Just don't repeat yourself. Do something new. I mean, that's always what you think about, try to, at least.
Yeah, I'm intrigued and I can't wait to see what Bulgaria will do. I love when a new country wins Eurovision.
Yeah, that was really exciting, actually.
So thank you so much for your time, Benke. It was lovely to chat to you, and yeah,
Yeah,
hopefully
you
we
too.
will
I mean,
see
it
you
was
in Bulgaria.
yes, hopefully.
Oh, wow, Seamus. Well, firstly, and I don't give you credit enough, I suppose credit where credit is due. Really good interview.
He was lovely, wasn't he?
He was lovely. And I forgot that he was behind Leslie Roy's song.
Yes, I couldn't wait to ask him about Leslie Roy and Matt.
Yeah, I thought that was a brave move, handled very well. Yes,
but he
very
loved it.
diplomatic.
He still loves that presentation. And actually, I'm one of the few that actually liked that presentation. I liked it because it was so different. That's why I liked it. And I know, it didn't really work and perhaps it didn't go with the song, but
it was no Bangaranga, really.
I love that it was different.
It was no Bangaranga. That's all I'm going to say.
Bangaranga. But he's been involved in so many iconic performances.
Yeah. And some for the right reasons. Obviously, 3-time winner and Cha 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 would be the highlights. Switzerland, I thought, did a really good job this year on their staging. Again, they listened. I don't know. Did he play our podcast?
He must have, yeah. Listen to the two lads in Ireland and say what they're seeing.
Oh, they
But,
really know what they're talking about.
But yeah, thanks Benke for his time. But yeah,
Yes.
iconic
Yeah.
stagings and choreography that he's given us over the years.
And I think another thing that stood out to me was just when he was talking about Dara and obviously the inputs that she had and the type of artist that she had. And she wasn't afraid to get creative with it, which I thought was really, really cool. You could see the way he talked about her and the inputs that she had. I think that was really, really cool. So it's always nice to hear that. You know, when you think about the performance, it came across in the performance. You know, she was involved around the styling, the staging. Obviously, she was singing. But, you know, she obviously had a particular point of view that the two of them worked on. And the end result is a cracking winner.
Yeah. Yeah. She definitely came with her own kind of, I suppose, vision and visuals.
Yeah.
But equally willing to take everything on board as well. So, yeah, it obviously was a good creative marriage, I would say.
And we know a lot about creative marriages.
Oh,
Seamus.
don't we just? It's the only kind of marriage we know anything about.
And probably ever will.
Yes.
Yes. But anyway, enough about that. Enough about sitting on the shelf. Maybe that could be a concept for a Eurovision winning song.
Yeah,
maybe.
definitely.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Well, we talk a little bit more about the results. Maybe talk about the rest of the top 5, Seamus.
Yeah, go on.
Okay. I'm not going to spend a lot of time on this. Second place was
who's
Israel.
that? Oh, yes.
Second, massive
surprise.
Oh, surprise.
Yeah. I think we should just get used to that now going forward, that the split televote will be one particular
I'm just
country.
going to call it massive televote with
quotation
a little
marks
asterisk or a little asterisk going to be confirmed.
Yes, exactly.
Maybe, yes. And then third place. Your song, Seamus. Your song.
Oh my God. I am so delighted for Romania, so delighted for Alexandra Capitanescu. I've been saying all along this season my dark horse was Romania. I just loved that song. I was like, there's something special with this. I don't know, I just didn't think it might make it into the top 5. I knew it would come in top 10, but I didn't think it would get into the top 5. So when she did get that huge public televote and went into the leading spot at one point and then obviously finished third, I was just like, yes, absolutely deserved.
I agree. I mean, the public vote was huge. Again, an interesting fact about this, they've taken 2 years out and came back, and now they're in third place. So the best ever result, I think, for Romania.
Yeah, I know they'd come third in I think 2005 and 2010, but in terms of points, this is their highest points ever.
Yeah, and then the juries, unfortunately the juries kind of tanked them, and I think that and I think that was unfortunate because her vocals were amazing, really
great vocals.
And again,
great staging as well.
Yes, well,
very busy, but I thought it was done well.
I don't think great would be the word I would use.
Oh, you weren't a fan of it?
I could see what they were trying to do. I got it. But I could have stood with a curtain over my head and pretend I was a demon. I mean, it looked a bit cheap. The demon looked a bit cheap. That's the first thing.
Oh, yeah, the demon.
And the connections between the guitar and her, again, I get what they were trying to do, but it did look a little make-and-do-ish.
Oh, really? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I thought it just didn't. I was like going, But again, the whole thing together kind of did work. I loved her demented kind of looks into the camera and stuff like that. Yes. I really liked that.
And I think it's her. I think she sells it. I think there's something.
Oh, she's a star. She's a star.
Very enigmatic. Is that the word about her? Yeah.
Yeah. And then rounding out, we had fourth place. We had Australia.
Yeah, great performance.
Any thoughts there? Yeah.
Beautiful performance. Great. Just really well sold, I guess, And what a vocal. Yeah. I don't think anyone ever had any doubt about the vocal, but just great. Yeah. And when she comes up out of the piano at the end, I'm like, there you go, girl. That's how you do it.
Yeah, I thought, she was joined second with the juries. I thought, who knows what could happen here. Yeah. They still managed a decent public vote, but just not enough, finishing fourth overall. And then rounded out top 5. I told you to cheese. Yeah.
One you liked all along. I remember it's like he's going on about Italy. I was like, okay, let's see. And a lot of cheese actually. Yeah.
Oh my God, it was like complete cheese fest. It was like
Mozzarella everywhere.
women in fondue or whatever it is. It was just like, wow,
Yeah.
so cheesy.
But likable,
Yeah.
very likable.
Very likable and, you know, mentioned in your interview as well.
Yeah,
Yes,
interesting that it stood out for Benke as well.
Yeah.
Again, I don't know, was it that for a good or a bad thing, but memorable.
Yes, memorable as well. So yeah, but I mean, just looking down then the top 10, really from fourth to probably 10th, there isn't a lot in it.
Well, see, this is it actually, yeah, because
Yeah,
I was
or
looking
even
at it from
third
third
down
to
to- yeah.
10th, they're all in the 200s.
Yeah, there's only
Um,
70 points between
Yeah,
third
70
and
odd points
10th.
between third and 10th. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Like, that is insane. That's so close. To be honest, my memory as well of the results coming in, I was in the Euroclub in Vienna that night of the final, and it was just crazy. I was like, what's going on? There was 12 points going here, there, and everywhere. Like, it was
There
crazy.
was. Yeah, I
So
would
exciting.
I have to say the voting was a bit chaotic.
It was.
Okay, maybe let's talk about the jury vote. I thought Denmark and Australia, they were tied for second after the jury vote. I thought that was a great result for Denmark, considering where they started. And unfortunately, it was the public vote that didn't go so well. So they went from second after the juries to seventh. They only got 78 points from the jury. I was like, oh no. And then the opposite to that was France. So they placed fourth with the juries and then got a terrible tally vote. They came 22nd in the tally vote, which dropped them right down to 11th overall. Yeah. And then the same again, Poland. There were 6 after the juries. I mean, they got so many 12s there. But again, the public didn't go for them. 17 points.
Yeah, this was one that blew my mind, actually. So I had made a note of this one because I just thought Poland came second in their semi-final. And then they ended up 12th in the final. I think that is so interesting because, again, a lot of people have written this song off, including myself. I didn't really think it was probably going to qualify. But again, great staging, amazing vocal. But in the end, it was the juries that saved her. I think she got 150 points in total and 133 coming from the juries.
Yeah, just about jury voting. And I suppose one thing that definitely was a factor, I think, this year was the addition of younger jury members in the juries. I think that definitely, when you think of Bangaranga, you know, it is a contemporary. I hate the way people say, oh, it's a girly bop. I don't think it's a girly bop at all. I just think it's a contemporary kind of clubby song.
Yeah.
But interesting, I just seen this about how the jury saved some qualifiers. Belgium being one and Sweden being the other. Yeah. If it wasn't for the jury vote in those semi-finals, they wouldn't have made it to the final. So that would have been an interesting one. So the jury saved those two in the semi-final. They were the biggest kind of talking points for me. Do you have any other ones?
The other one that caught my eye was Antigone for Cyprus. Scraped in out of her semi-final. She came 10th in her semi-final and then came 19th in the final. So she was very, very lucky. And probably have the Greeks to thank, I would say. But that was just something I noticed as well. And we mentioned it already, the points difference from 3rd to 10th. 76 points between them. I can't believe that. It blows my mind. Can I mention that we got one thing right, the 0 points? This was another
our speciality, Seamus, our speciality.
The whole name of the podcast.
Yeah.
So we had predicted, I said that I think the UK will come last or get 0 points, and you said Austria will come last or get 0 points. And sure enough, the two of them ended up at the bottom, and they both got 0 points from the public. And then also Belgium and Germany got 0 points from the public as well. So it was one of those years where there was a good few 0 points given out, which I always find really entertaining. And I think the artists are kind of getting more used to it now. And I think they almost maybe plan for it. Like, if we get 0 points, what are we going to do? How are we going to react? You know? I do think they probably have that conversation.
Like, it must be enough of feeling. Again, we keep saying this. They did get votes, but just not enough to register on the scoring system.
Yes.
I thought Belgium's reaction was hilarious. They just all burst out laughing. And I think that's all you can do.
Yeah,
You
and I
know,
think was it Germany ended up going 6-7 or something, giving that kind of response.
yeah.
And actually, I was surprised Germany got 0. I thought it would have gotten at least 1 or 2 points. Because I don't know, I was kind of impressed about how she produced it in the end. Because I actually felt like I was at her concert. I thought that's what she gave us on stage, you know. But yeah, look, that's the way it goes.
Yeah, look, it was always brutal at the under end. I was just so happy for Lithuania because they were at the bottom of the leaderboard for most of it. And I think it was only the last few votes where they got some. I was like, oh, thank God. Because I thought that deserved. I just loved that whole performance.
Yeah, you liked that all along, yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, I was like, oh. And then when he got, I think he did get a 12 points somewhere along the line. But I don't know. I've seen the funny reaction. He wasn't there. And then when he was asked where he was saying, oh, is that having a pee? So
Priorities.
Yeah, priorities. Well, that's the voting, I suppose. What did you think of the grand final?
So actually, this is probably a good enough indicator of it, okay? So normally, we go to Eurovision, we're there, we experience it, and then I'm always kind of dying when I come home to watch it back on TV. And normally I would come home, let's say on the Sunday, and I would then watch it maybe on the Monday. I didn't watch it for, I'd say, a week at least. So that kind of maybe tells you the interest and how much I thought it wasn't a great show. And when I did watch it then the other day, I was kind of fast forwarding through bits to get through it. I was like, oh, here the host, fast forward. Like I didn't watch anything of the host back. I just thought they were that poor. Do you know what I did like actually? I did like anything that involved JJ. I liked his performances.
Correct. Yes.
So much so that I'm probably planning on going to his tour, one of his tour dates in September. And I also downloaded his EP and I was listening to the songs. And I like the songs. I like his music anyway.
Yeah, I did enjoy that opener as well. But I mean, why did they have to do the pretend breaking of the trophy? Yeah. Again, I mean, it's been done so many times. I did like the boat, though, I have to say.
Yes, that was
I did
nice
like
idea.
that. And I did like his performance. Yeah, I agree with you about it. I got to say it. And I know it's been a hard year of, Eurovision in general. The same excitement wasn't there, but I think it was probably one of the worst Eurovisions that I can think of. How many delays was there technically? I just didn't think it was the slick machine that it normally is.
Yeah, I didn't see any delays. I don't think there was any delays. I think everything.
Oh my God, there was so many delays for the Lithuanian, and you could see them running off stage when the camera. The glitch with Czechia, they should have been allowed to perform.
Yeah, with that glitch. Yeah.
Where else was there a delay? Was there a delay before Australia? There was about 4 to 5 delays between songs, and then you had that awkward let's just fill the space with crowd shots, and also then the two presenters who had no chemistry. I initially liked the green room, but then it got really on my nerves, especially during the voting segment. It was like kind of going, where are the presenters? They're not connected to the scoreboard. They're kind of in the middle of the arena on a runway. There was no connection there. And I just thought, every time they went to the green room, people were vying for airtime. I got very distracted by all of that. It was just like because it was actually, I suppose, tense during the voting as well.
Yeah.
For a particular reason, because people were like going, it's going to happen.
What's going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah.
But the green room was just a bit crap anyway, and the green room host was terrible. That Emily girl, like it was just what's her role? I know they were trying to make it into this Austrian cafe type thing. It just didn't really work.
I thought she was better in at least she was allowed to talk in the final.
Well, that's the thing. They gave her a couple of lines in the final, but it was still weird. She looked like an air hostess.
Yeah. Graham Norton's commentary was just
priceless. He was very funny. The clips I heard.
Very funny. What do you think of the interval act?
No, I didn't like the interval acts.
Neither did I. Oh, I liked Cesar.
It was okay.
Oh no, I thought it was lovely. I liked him. He saved it for me. The rest of it, absolute. If I see Alexander Rybak coming out again Like, I mean, he looks great. He hasn't
Hasn't aged, I know.
But no.
I'm never a huge fan of bringing back former winners and things like that. It's hard to do it well. And in fact, all the interval acts other than JJ, I thought were very poor this year. Like,
Very.
again, let's not even start about Austria, Australia. We just can't even talk about that.
No. So that kind of all led to my conclusion that it was probably not a great Eurovision overall. It was already, I do feel sorry for them. It was already going to be a challenge, but it was the 70th. But I think for a 70th, I think not great.
And now what I will say is I thought the standard of songs were good this year. So the actual songs I enjoyed this year. I liked the songs, and I thought the standard was actually quite high compared to other years. But
interesting as well. There was a great kind of mix of different types of genres of music as well. Yeah.
Yeah. But the one thing I've certainly noticed is when Austria hosted, they'll give you a great stage, but the hosts are terrible. That's the one thing I've come away with. Because I've liked the staging this year. I liked the staging in 2015. That's probably one of my favorite stages. But the hosts are always pretty poor, except for Conchita maybe in 2015.
One last thing. Oh my God, whoever was on the sound probably will lose their job, right? I mean, they left the mics live for the presentation when they were like...
And JJ going,
but there was a lot of expletives there, even just before that, when they were on the stage. I was like going, oh wow.
And actually, what did you make of that when Dara was reprising the song at the end and she started singing in the green room and then came down on the stage and finished on the stage?
Have they not done that the last couple of years though? I don't think they do the full staging anymore, do they not?
Oh, they didn't actually last year either in Basel, but at least he came down onto the stage and started on the stage, whereas she started performing in the green room. It was weird.
They were so behind because there was so many delays. It was unbelievable during the show. Well, in my opinion, anyway. What do you think is going to happen next year?
Oh, sure. Who knows? There's going to be a lot of talks happening over the summer. The EBU will be chatting to all different countries. I think we'll probably see some countries return potentially to Eurovision Bulgaria, and we'll continue probably to see countries boycott, I would say. But who knows? Way too early to tell. There'll be lots of chats happening over the summer months.
But it's good for the Balkans.
Great for Bulgaria, great for that region. It'll be fantastic to see what they do. God knows what they will do, because this is going to be expensive. And, they had said they weren't in Eurovision the past few years because of financial reasons. So it will be interesting to see what kind of a show they'll pull off next year.
I think they'll throw everything at us.
They will. I presume they will. They will find funding and sponsorship and investors from wherever they can to put on a good show.
And I suppose we forget about this, especially maybe this side of Europe, how big it was in Bulgaria. I mean, the crowd that greeted Dara when she got back to Bulgaria was unbelievable. People go, oh, Eurovision doesn't mean anything. It's like going, well, go and have a look at that.
Yeah, it's fantastic and only right, I think.
Yes, exactly. So I suppose, well done, Bulgaria. We're looking forward to seeing what you're going to present us with next year.
Yes. And so do we have only one more thing left to do?
We do only have one more thing left to do.
It's time to hand out our final 0 points of the season. Adrian, do you want to go first with your 0 points?
I don't really have a 0 points, if I'm being honest.
Oh, okay. I do.
I complained about the Eurovision itself, the grand final. I just didn't think it was up to scratch. I won't give it 0 points, though. But I think I've done enough moaning for one episode.
I've given out.
Yeah, given out. Maybe your 0 points will inspire me.
Well, no, it probably won't. And it's unsurprising. My 0 points is going to Martin Green and the EBU. Again.
Oh, what? Martin is such a lovable character.
Oh, he's so unlikable and irritating. I don't know why they keep rolling him out. But actually, one point I did want to make is every year after Eurovision, the EBU will release a statement saying how successful the contest was. And interesting, the BBC estimated that the global audience this year was 120 million. And so if we're comparing that to last year, that's down from 166 million.
I wonder what the reality is, though. Definitely viewership is down.
Oh,
we know that. We know that from talking to people who would normally watch Eurovision.
Yeah.
We know that.
And
again,
certain countries
we're coming
released
from-
their figures as well, and they were down.
And we are coming from an Irish perspective. It
Mhm.
is not the same in every other country that are in the EBU. So
Mm.
I'm sure the viewership might have been up in Australia because of Delta.
Delta.
You know, you don't
Yeah.
know.
But it was certainly down in other countries that I was reading.
Yeah, it was down in the UK. Yeah,
Down the
definitely
UK,
would have
down
been
the Netherlands,
here.
obviously.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the end of the day, money talks
Mm.
now. You know, years ago, Eurovision really wasn't about money. It is now, because so much is involved in it. So it'll be interesting to see. I definitely think they have to still do something about the televote.
Absolutely.
But what? I still think it's an important factor in Eurovision.
Oh, absolutely.
I think I used to disagree with this. I do like the jury and televote system. I have
Me
to say,
too.
I do
Yeah.
like that.
I've always preferred that.
Yeah, but I definitely think they still need to do something about the televote. But how and what? Because the audiences are down, you have less people voting, and in my opinion, that makes it even easier to manipulate is the word I'm just going to use.
Yeah.
Or organize maybe. And I just think the way it's weighted is probably the thing. Do we really need to be giving people 10 votes? I don't think so. One vote, I think is enough. But having said that, I actually did, I don't know whether I said this, but I did actually register to vote as part of the rest of the world just to see what it was like. And I did do the 10 votes, but I didn't vote for the same countries. Do you know what I mean?
You spread the love and shared the love.
I did, I do like to give,
that's you. All about sharing the love.
As much as I can.
Giving it around.
As much as I can,
At your age.
At my age. Isn't it great that I can still vote?
Absolutely.
For as many people as I want.
Absolutely. Only right.
And I did give one vote to Bulgaria.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
Very good.
So anyway, yeah, I think they definitely need to change the televote and get cool presenters and come up with something innovative and new and interesting for the interval act. So I want to see Bulgaria in Eurovision. Do you know what I mean?
You want to see real Bulgaria.
Yeah, like whatever that is. I mean, that's Eurovision to me.
Yeah.
See something about the culture. Did we see a lot about the culture of Austria?
Not really.
Not really. So don't be afraid to show off your country and your culture. Well, I suppose we have to be careful with that, depending on where it is. Yeah, a certain amount of as long as it agrees with our politics and stuff like that, that's totally fine. If it doesn't, don't show us. Yeah, but well done, Bulgaria. So you're 0 points EBU. Yeah.
EBU and Martin Green. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is it. This has been season 5. This has been episode 12. We did no awards this year. We're not in the awards mood.
No.
Well done again, Seamus, for a great interview and for a great season. You kept it going. I know we had a bit more condensed. We got there. And I suppose the big thank yous to everybody who support us and listen to us. God help you, but thanks for listening and supporting us.
We really appreciate it.
And I guess it's June. Happy Pride, and thanks for listening.